Hey everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terence. The week begins on Monday, April the 25th. This is a very important week because next Saturday, April the 30th, will be a new moon solar eclipse. The rule of thumb is the week before, which would be this week, through the following week. Do not make important life decisions. Try not to launch any major new projects because the eclipse, there's a lot of hidden, shadowy energies, and you may not have the full clarity or information. But on the plus side, this is a very social week for parties and entertaining and just enjoying the sweetness of life. So let me explain. On Monday, the work week begins with the moon in Pisces. The moon sets the public tone. Pisces is compassionate, sensitive, creative, and the moon will be in harmony with the sun in Taurus. Taurus is an earth sign, compatible with Pisces, a water sign, because water brings life to the dry earth and the earth brings substance to the water so it doesn't spill all over the place. But later in the day, between 6 p.m., around 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, the moon will cross Mars, warrior Mars. Now that could be a very active time in the evening, whether this is through an exciting conversations or maybe you are exercising, but it can also be a time of a lot of jumping to conclusions and kind of rash, impulsive reactions. On Tuesday, the moon continues in Pisces, but early in the morning, from about just after 4:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, the moon will be in harmony with innovative Uranus. This is very favorable for getting out of any kind of stuck routine, more open to innovation, new technology, thinking out of the box. However, the whole day, discerning Mercury, the planet of communications, the planet of curiosity, will be in harmony with expansive Jupiter. Now, this is really favorable for making long-range plans, but don't make any commitments because you're in the shadow of the eclipse. This is very favorable, though, for traveling, for studying, as Mercury represents the lower mind, like the analytical, the words, the writing, and favorable of Jupiter, the higher mind. Jupiter can represent higher education, publishing, teaching. Wednesday, the moon leaves Pisces and goes into fiery, energetic Aries at 9:10 a.m. Pacific time. And during that whole day on Wednesday, pleasure-seeking, romantic, and creative Venus will be crossing over Neptune. They both are aligning together in the sign of Pisces. Pisces is all this compassionate, intuitive energy. A day, once a year, when Venus aligns with Neptune, it's a day of unconditional love, of creative inspiration. It's also a day of falling in love. On Thursday, the moon, as it continues in assertive, courageous Aries, discerning Mercury, it will now be in harmony with transformational Pluto. Pluto rules the underworld in mythology. Pluto, therefore, rules over psychology, astrology, the occult, or anything that is hidden. And with Mercury, excellent with Pluto twice a year, excellent for research, for investigation, for having an astrology reading, for a counseling session. It can be an excellent day for a lot of profound conversations. On Friday, the moon continues in Aries, but will go into Taurus, 5:19 p.m. Aries is a fire sign, impulsive, excitable. When the moon, which sets the public tone, goes into Taurus, Taurus is an earth sign. It's stabilizing, it's calming, it's steady. Whereas when the moon was in Aries, it's very fiery. But this moon, as it goes into Taurus, 5:19 p.m. Pacific time, it's setting up the new moon solar eclipse on Saturday in the sign of Taurus. But also on Friday, Pluto is going retrograde, as it does once a year. And if Pluto will be at 28 degrees of Capricorn. And so if that degree impacts anything in your chart, that Pluto influence will start turning your attention more inward. That's the retrograde, like maybe starting to reflect and review what has been going on. But let's get to Saturday, which is the new moon solar eclipse. And a solar eclipse, if you have your birthday, especially on Friday, the 29th, certainly Saturday or Sunday, May 1st. If you're older, maybe even by May the 2nd. When you have a solar eclipse near your birthday, once every 19 years, it means that over the coming months, usually between 3 to 6 months, you'll come to a crossroads in life and go down a new path. It can be very life-changing. Also, this new moon, it being a solar eclipse, if it triggers any planet in your chart, it will keep impacting that, whatever that planet represents, making a lot of adjustments and changes for a good 6 months. But also on Saturday, pleasure-seeking, sociable Venus will align with expansive, generous Jupiter. Venus-Jupiter, it can be indulgent, it's very pleasure-seeking. Some people will spend too much money, eat too much food, but you're really indulging and enjoying life. On Sunday, May the 1st, now with the moon continuing in steady, calming Taurus, Venus, that was excellent with expansive Jupiter on Saturday. On Sunday, Venus will be in harmony with profound, in-depth Pluto. Venus to Pluto can be a day that you're seeking a deeper, more intimate connection. You might be feeling more romantic, more sensual. This could also be very favorable for any creative projects. As with the Pluto, you can become obsessed and really focus to get the job done. Before I sign off, I want to remind you I'm available for a one-question offer for a nominal fee. To order it, go to astrologyanswers.com, look for the tab labeled services, labeled advisors. Click on it, scroll down till you find my name, and follow the instructions. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.